Soon as just like that.
Yeah, turn the beat on.
All right. We back again. Live streaming episode 33. Kam G,
We
you've
back.
come a long way, man. We started at 19.
Damn, for real?
Yeah. We've been knocking
Well,
these episodes. Live
tell me that.
streaming, no edits, everything. What you see is what you get.
My
Sometimes
sense of time is off, so
right.
you might not have should not have told me that.
All right. Yo,
I don't know where we've been.
It just flies by so quick that you forget that when we're putting in that work slowly by slowly, brick by brick.
You know what I'm saying? Burning that midnight oil.
There you go. Just like that, I can see you with your cup to kind of like bring your energy levels up.
Oh yeah, it's just to keep me in the game. Keep me in the game for this last push.
Yeah, to those that are watching, as you notice, LT's not here. He has other commitments, but that's our brother. We'll cover on his behalf, and hopefully we fill his big shoes and do it. Just me and Kam G today.
Let's go.
Right
here. We got you, LT.
We got you, LT. So where do we even start, man? It's been an action-packed week leading on to the weekend, leading on to all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, man.
Let's do the obvious. Everybody's
jump right into it.
Let's go right into it. The lead up. Before we talk about the actual day of Friday, that Thursday there was a shockwave that happened.
What did the 5 fingers say to the
face?
Face.
That's crazy.
Slap.
It was okay. Before we go into a conspiracy path here, but I'll be honest, I had no interest in this fight. As you all remember from what we had talked about last recap, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor was my draw.
Yep.
But I'm telling you, the hand to the face brought up those numbers.
Woke us up. Woke us up real quick.
Now we had something to watch. Now it's like, okay, it's personal now. That was fuel to the fire.
Right. Mike Tyson is probably one of the most interesting individuals in the history of everything.
Yeah.
Because, there was a clip that came back that said he talked about his feet. Like, his feet hurt him so bad. Like, if anyone steps on his feet, he loses it. So, in that lead up, Jake Paul is crawling up to Mike Tyson, I guess, doing the antics, and steps on his foot, and Mike slapped his ass. So I found great enjoyment from that. That was the best shot he got on Jake Paul over the weekend.
Yeah. I honestly, I took it for face value. I took it as an angry person reacting, and just like how you said it, he had his toes stepped on.
The bunions hurt, man.
Yeah, and then after a while, I'm thinking, well, is this a stroke of genius? Is Mike Tyson doing the famous, pushing and shoving of Lennox Lewis and then starting a melee and then him calling out one of the reporters? I won't say what he said to the reporter, but if you remember that, when he said, "You can't live 5 minutes in my life, you can't," and then he said something that you can't say on YouTube to him, and he said, "I'll do something to you," and I was like, "Oh crap."
This man is crazy.
Now I gotta watch this fight. Was it a stroke? Yeah. Do you think it's okay? We're going 10 hats. Are we going to the conspiracy route? Is Mike Tyson a marketing genius, or is Jake Paul an antagonist that knew that the bunions on Mike Tyson are a very soft, tender thing? That the face-off is a mental thing. So let me poke the bear and see what I could get away with.
I really feel like it was just a matter of the circumstances. It was a lot of energy going up into the fight. I don't think Jake Paul actually did it intentionally. It legitimately looked like an accident. And then Mike reacted intentionally with the slap.
Yeah.
which I feel like everybody enjoyed. I mean,
Yeah. And
I
talk
enjoyed
about
it.
let's talk about the elephant in the room. What does Mike think it's 1996, bro? When he used to weigh in with those the underwear, them tidy whities, like yo,
Yeah, man. He had a
wear some speedo,
speedo.
like you can wear something different, man. You had to come out with your Versace, you know, acting like
Man,
96 Iron Mike. I was like, what's happening here, bro? Cover up.
it's not unexpected. The man puts out training videos in his drawers on the regular. Like he trains in his drawers, and it's so wild. It's not; those aren't compression shorts. Those are just
It's underwear.
regular drawers. Yeah, just drawers, man. You know, he's
That's
an
crazy.
unhinged person. He still has that thing mentally where it switches off. But you know, ultimately, we saw a 58-year-old man in the ring, and I know a lot of people thought it was sad, but he went 8 rounds.
It
Whether
did
you
go
thought he
down.
threw the fight or whatever you may have thought, he didn't
Mhm.
look great. But I challenge anybody to go 8 rounds in front of on a big stage and just make it, survive, not fall on your face. You know, so
Yeah.
from that standpoint, I was very impressed that he was able to just stand up 8 rounds.
Yeah,
And
I know he's
kudos
on.
to Jake Paul for not pushing the pace and
Yeah, he kind of he stopped stepping on the gas like pretty early too. It wasn't
yeah,
one of those that I felt like yeah, he's now, you know, he stopped quick. Um I'm trying to pull the stats for that fight.
all the punch stats
Based
there.
on punch stats. Mike only threw like 90. That's
Yeah, he
ridiculous.
didn't. I don't think he got to 100 punches.
That is wild to think about.
Yeah, it's wild that that was sanctioned as a professional fight, and that Mike Tyson received an L from Jake Paul. Like seeing this as going across the ticker is crazy because I've always known, you know, Mike Tyson finished with 6 losses, but as it stands now, he has 7, and one of them being to Jake Paul. Is completely crazy. But I think the biggest thing is like, okay, so they received a Mike reportedly received a $20 million purse.
Wow.
Jake Paul received $40 million. So however you may feel about Jake Paul or Tyson taking the fight, these guys were paid handsomely for this spectacle of a fight that really wasn't even a fight.
Right.
You know, that's incredible. 40 M's for Jake Paul.
Wow.
Basically being a troll.
Wow. So
I mean, what do you say to that?
I think Jake Paul is redefining what it calls to be what I mean, he's redefining the term high level businessman. Mm-hmm. That was a business move and a half. That's a move to be studied. In any field. Like, how do you pivot and be successful continuously? And you could start from his Vine YouTube prowess. Like, he came from that era to pivoting into TV with Disney and then doing celebrity boxing, and what he has done in that space of celebrity boxing to professional boxing. The level of pivot and everything is a level up. Now even the boxers are now saying, well, he can box, but he cannot box, but he can box.
Yeah, and you even
he could bring some problems to some people. I don't know if he's doing that with the elite level fighters about his age.
Absolutely not.
He could do a dust up and collect. You know, he could stat stuff and get some bums to add to that 12 and 1 and make it look good, because we've seen a lot of fighters come out of nowhere with 30 fights, and I'm like, I don't even know you. Exactly. Fighting in Guadalajara, Mexico, fighting in Colombia, come back here with like how many bodies? Like, yo, look at this resume. But you know, no marquee fighter on that.
He's getting paid. We know guys that have that many fights that will never sniff
Nah,
that many millions of dollars for a fight.
nah.
And he's doing it in his 13th professional fight, collecting a check of $40 million.
$40
I mean,
million.
the marketing promotion of
Salute to
this
him.
guy should be studied. Uh, I mean, hate it,
Top businessman.
love it. It happened. It happened, and it happens because here in this country, in this world, we love a spectacle, and that's what they gave us.
Yeah, he's a top businessman. One thing I respect about him, of course, the antics and what he does to get us to watch. It's cringeworthy, but how he puts on for everyone. It's not just him. Yes, he got his 40 M's, but he's always laying the table, setting it up for everyone that is under the most valuable promotion. From
And the women fighter.
the women fighters. I believe Katie, these are legends. Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, getting their biggest bag thus far, upwards
Well
to like
deserved
7
bag.
million. Katie Taylor is getting
Upwards of
7 million.
$6 million purse.
Yeah,
We had Shadeja Green on the card as well.
yeah.
I mean,
People like O2 Ashton, I forgot his last name. He was under most valuable, I believe. I don't know if he's still under most valuable, but he was saying, man, I'm getting the most bags, the most money just fighting on the Jake Paul. I don't care. He was a prodigy. He's like, I'll fight on the Jake Paul. He'll be the vessel I ride my way to my championship, whatever I have to get to. But the man is paying his fighters. And Eddie Hearns, every other person, Turkey does a good job. Everyone should study him and what he's doing. Apparently, he also wants to start like a boxers union, something where we all get equal pay. We all get like health insurance.
Yeah,
we all get retirement because we've been beating our brain cells and nobody cares after we lose or we are not that marquee fighter anymore and we're just set in some purgatory so we could just, I'm not saying we, but the boxers could just, yesterday's boxers forgotten and they fall into their vices, but he is actually standing and saying, nah, we need to put money aside but in these big fights to take care of the ones that set the stone for us, the ones that so he wants to start a union so people cannot get jerked for their money. So I respect it.
I'm all for that. One more thing to add. Did you see that Artur Beterbiev mentioned that he would be open to fighting Jake Paul? Did you see that for his light heavyweight undisputed belts?
I saw the response. I saw the suggestion.
He brought it up. It wasn't.
Yeah, I heard him bringing it up. The level of competition is not the same.
No, it's not.
Both of them come with their own level of respect. One comes with the bag. The other one comes with a pedigree in fighting. I don't know if I want to watch that one.
Hey, he's looking to get paid. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we can do a quick search, but I don't know what the Bivol Beterbiev purse guaranteed purse was, but I'm sure it wasn't 40 mil. It wasn't 20 mil.
It was. Yeah, I don't even think it's 10 mil to be honest with those two fighters.
So why would it's like what? How can you, as a fighter, not be intrigued by the idea of doing that? Okay, so the AI Google search is saying that Artur Beterbiev's purse for his fight against Dmitry Bivol was estimated to be 10 million, regardless of the outcome.
Oh wow!
This would have been the largest purse ever for either fighter.
Yeah, very few fighters get to the 15 mil. Like Tank is about 20 at most.
Right. So previously he made his fight against Callum Smith. He earned a little over $1 million.
Yeah, they don't make a lot.
So I mean,
not as much.
When you talking about, go ahead.
If I'm Beterbiev, I would want that. I'm getting up there in age. I don't know how many more fights with my style of fighting, how many fights I could keep on taking. That my division is all recycled fighters. Like I've got who else could I fight really? Unless I have to get up and wait, or I have to step down. Maybe a fight with him and in a dream world, him and old dude who's the current heavyweight from Ukraine.
Usyk.
Usyk at cruiserweight. Maybe that would be interesting. I don't know. Usyk is a natural cruiserweight who fights at heavy. Like for him in his weight division, yes. I don't think no one inspires him really, besides Bivol. But I mean, there's a Canelo out there somewhere where we could catch. We could do a catch weight. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Like if I'm Better Beef, I'm seeing money being splashed around. I'm seeing this guy who's setting up people forever with generational wealth. I want a piece of that. I'm like, yeah.
Why not at this point? You've done everything in your career.
I don't have to knock you out cold. I don't have to work hard. I really don't have to go into training mode like I'm going to fight. Why not? Come on.
I think guys like him only. I think guys like him only know one speed though.
Yeah, but again, the thing is, if you knock him out in one round, how entertaining is that? Right. Because at the end of the day, there has to be some clauses. If I'm Jake Paul and I'm fighting a monster like that, I want to do the Roy Jones Tyson, bro. Don't hit me in the face. Or we could even do a rehydration clause, or some punches are not allowed. I don't want your I don't want your uppercut. I don't want you to set me up with no uppercut. I don't know if you could have some. You could find a way to make it interesting, where even if I'm gonna lose, if I'm Jake Paul, but I don't want to mess up my future bag, where now the whole mystique and magic of me just goes away. Like it's I think
high level theatrics at that point.
Like Tommy Fury was a bleep in the Matrix. Like Tommy Fury beat him, but really and truly, Jake Paul, he won that fight. We saw it, and Tommy Fury was a real fighter. They both came with a storyline. Logan Paul's little brother, Tyson Fury's little brother. Maybe in the future, Logan Paul could go get a bag with Tyson Fury. I don't know. It's entertaining. But yeah, you're right. If the biggest bag I ever got was close to 10 mil, and 20 a 20 piece is being thrown out there to a 58-year-old, and I'm in my, come on, man, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Right.
Yeah. But
we'll see.
In all actualness, if you're Jake Paul, you're a businessman, right? You have to do a risk assessment, right? You're not fighting any fight just to fight. You're fighting to lead up to your next big bag, right?
Right.
Right now, in his mind, I know for sure he's fatigued, tired. He had to train for this monster in Tyson, right? And Tyson is not just the fighter, but also the fan base, the stardom that comes with him, and so on and so forth. Tyson is just a mammoth of an icon, right? Right. He must be low-key after this fight. He must be depressed because he's thinking, "What's there after this?" I've said milestone after milestone after milestone after milestone. Now he has to pivot and fight a real fighter. That's the only thing. It's on uncomfortable conversations now.
Right.
Okay.
Right. You can't bring.
Legend.
Right.
I want to fight another legend.
But did you hear Andre Ward gave a little bait in the water about him potentially fighting somebody?
That's what I was leading to. I don't want him to fight another legend, but I'll make an exception for Godson.
Oh man, I mean, we are seeing how ultimately it's about collecting that check. Yeah. When you're in that fight game and you see guys that can help you generate that type of wealth, that type of bag, you will have that conversation. You just can't afford. I mean, I guess you could afford not to have the conversation, or you could be on your high horse and, hey, it's a clown show and it's this and it's that. At the end of the day, you see your family, you got kids, you got expenses, you have a lifestyle you want to achieve, you want things that you may not have achieved in your career. Mike Tyson deserved that bag, man. He was robbed many times during his career. Kudos to him, man. Andre Ward, I mean, one of the unsung champions that we had. Hey man, maybe he didn't get the bag that he felt like he deserved, so he's gonna just, throw his name in the hat.
Hell yeah! I'll throw my name in the hat too, man. For 250,000, come beat my butt. Right. I'll go in there and take the fall, man. Give me my bag. Unless we have a pause where I have to like land a certain amount of punches, I'm like.
Hey, but you see what I'm saying? It gets you in there. It gets the wheels turning, man. So hey, man,
I'll go in there for 50,000.
Hey, easy. Bro,
I'll go in there for 20.
Hey, Mike did it for 20.
I'll pay for my own ticket there. I'll pay for my own hotel. Give me 20. I'm in there. I mean, this is like yeah, after taxes 20 because
it's not worth it, bro. You can get a little more
because taxes take half of that joint. Like
yeah, you got a little more than that. But hey, man, Tyson, stay out the ring, please. We don't want to see that no more.
Man, we need you back smoking weed, chilling on your hot box.
Yeah, just hopping on the podcast, man.
Yeah, talking about the Todd on all that stuff. That's what we need you doing, Tyson. You're a legend, man. And you're a grandfather to a lot of these fighters. You're actually old enough to be Jake Paul's grandpa. So just let's leave it at that. Okay, this is the one.
Yeah.
Before we put our opinions into this, opinions of the outcome, was it as advertised, this fight?
Oh yeah, man. The electricity was there for this fight. The star power, the storylines. Katie Taylor has had, I think this is her 19th championship fight, if I'm not mistaken. Serrano jumping up multiple weight classes to take this fight. Highly anticipated rematch from the Madison Square Garden, most electric fight I feel like in modern times, outside of maybe a Mayweather Pacquiao. But it kind of was a dud to me because of the headbutts. I mean, and it wasn't that there were headbutts; it was the fact that after they seemed to be intentional at a certain point.
Yeah, I heard about that. But keep saying sorry. My
no, it just took it. I felt like it took the skill out of the fight. We had a headbutt in the first fight. We had it in this fight as well. It made me really feel that we were robbed of a special fight that was brewing. I really thought Amanda Serrano was about to do something special. She was landing flush, and it was frustrating Katie Taylor, and it hurt her. And then ultimately we had a headbutt. I don't know, it was at the 4th round, and I felt like we were robbed of a special evening.
Yeah. And the thing is, you gotta love boxing Twitter. I was seeing threads of like old fights of Katie Taylor having that same thing where she leaves people cut. A lot of her opponents cut. But also, with that being said, I've seen a lot of fighters with her build fighting other fighters that are little or shorter. That's like the outcome, not the elbow, but just I don't know if it's a coming together type of thing. How you fight? Is she always in that close proximity type? I don't know if it's her style or
when you have multiple fights that end with that have headbutts and not headbutts. Headbutts that create cuts that affect the outcome of the fight.
Yeah.
That is what to me was.
That's a tactic.
Yeah, and there's something there, right? There's at least a conversation to be had. Amanda Serrano talked about it after the fight, then went to Twitter to kind of backtrack a little bit. But I really felt like what she said in the heat of the moment was true. That's part of her style. She comes in, she's laying her head on the cut. I mean, I really felt terrible for Serrano, and it made me really dislike Katie Taylor because I feel like you're a champion. You don't have to do that, but apparently that is something that is in her repertoire. Because to have multiple fights where you have headbutts that serious gashes on these ladies' heads, it's just unfortunate, man.
Let me go over some of the punches, some of the punch statistics of this fight.
Yeah.
This here, they say total punches, right? Amanda Serrano had 324. Katie Taylor had 217 punches.
Was that power punches or jabs?
Those were body landed.
Okay.
And then
300.
324 Serrano had.
Wow.
Katie Taylor had 217. And then
Landed.
total jab.
It's total.
Yeah, total.
Okay.
Total. I'm looking at this card, and they're kind of misleading with the titling here. But total jabs. Katie Taylor had landed 9. She set up for 108. Serrano landed 46. She set up for 256. So 18% to a 8.3%. Power punches. Taylor threw 421 power punches. He landed 208 of them. Serrano threw out 478. She landed 278. So she landed 58.6% of her punches, while Taylor landed 49.4. In the stats, everything, Serrano was just dog walking her in the stats. Watching the fight, it looked different. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Am I wrong?
It didn't look like that. It looked like Katie Taylor landed more, like threw more flurries. That's what it looked like with my eyes watching the fight. I was not really concerned with the punch stats. I just thought that Katie Taylor style, or her fight style, was in such a way that she could have easily been disqualified this fight.
Right.
Because she continued to lead with her head and cause a headbutt and continue to lead with her head even after the referee gave her a warning. So in my mind, I'm thinking if the fight gets to the scorecards, please let Serrano win. Please let her win, because even though I feel like she was outworked by Katie Taylor, but the punch stats told a different story. I really felt like Serrano deserved to win, man. But you let stuff go to the judges. You had a referee in the ring who was complaining to about the corner, like, hey man, like what are you gonna do? He gave stern warnings, but it wasn't enough, man. I think at this point, if you're officiating a fight and you see this, you have to regulate that action, because Amanda Serrano has a career after this. You can't allow the fighter to be hurt in such a way intentionally where it could potentially affect her career moving forward. But it ruined a special night. You know, it was set up so beautifully. But Katie Taylor got the victory. But the fans, they're on the Twitter and the Instagrams and the podcast, and they're all saying the same thing, that hey man, these headbutts seem to be intentional.
Right.
Not a lot of respect given when it comes to that.
Yeah. So. But all in all, it's one of those tough pills to swallow from a person like Amanda Serrano. And the first fight, it was a toss-up for me more than the last one. And I'm like, everyone won in the first fight. I was like, boxing won. You guys won. I want to fight again. But do you see a third fight with these two?
I wouldn't mind seeing a third fight. I just want to see a fight that does not have a clash of heads that determines the outcome, because I feel like Serrano had to deal with the cut and she was not able to perform as she would have had she not had a headbutt. You get cut in fights, but a headbutt, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. You blood everywhere. Who knows how this is even going to heal? We just assume that it's going to heal. She's up in age. She has 50 fights.
Yeah, she's been fighting for 50. Yeah,
50 fights. So it's not guaranteed that we see her again. If we do see her again, I'm only interested in this fight because I feel like it would be she should right a wrong, because she is more than capable of defeating Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
in my eyes.
You know what's always funny is when these two come up, and then you hear the other goat, Carissa Shields, wanting piece of the action. I'm like, Carissa, you bigger than these girls. Like,
Yeah,
there's no way
yeah,
they're fighting you. You're just naturally a bigger girl. Like but she wants to fight them because she wants to be unanimously the one in female boxing. But
right. But I would not mind. I would not mind seeing our girl from Michigan, Baumgartner, our other girl from Michigan, get in the ring with Katie Taylor.
Okay, yeah, I think that's reasonable. Do you think
Let her come handle that lightweight?
I mean, Alyssa, is it Alyssa Baumgartner, right?
Yep.
She is talented, but do you think she's on this level? I mean, she's good. She's amazing and strong.
Oh, I think she is.
Okay.
I definitely think she is. I think we just got to see it, right? You know, dare to be great, challenge yourself, and I really feel like I want to see Katie Taylor against another opponent. See if she's able to impose her will, and it's a big name, Katie Taylor, Baumgartner. That's a big fight.
Yeah, Baumgartner. She has appeal. I mean, she's easy on the eye, so she's gonna sell a fight. Like,
right.
Just that, I've seen her fight. I forgot her name. The last fight that she fought was elite. The American fighter, former Olympian too.
You're tomorrow, Baumgartner.
Baumgartner's the last elite fighter she fought they fought in the UK actually. We
can find out. We can find out real quick. What about it though?
The other fighters that I want to see fight, I want to see Savannah Marshall fight somebody. Not Carissa again, but that's another legit fighter, and you know, but she's also kind of big.
Let's see. There's fights to be made. You talking about Michaela Mayer?
Yeah, so from Olympian, yeah, her, yeah.
She was 17 at the time, fought in 2022.
Yep, that's the last, I think, legit.
Yeah, they fought at the O2 Arena.
They fought in the UK. I remember that fight, and it was pretty close too. They went at each other. Like it was
a close fight.
So, do you think? Okay, do you think
a lot of back and forth on the Twitter? It was a split decision. Yeah. There was still a lot of back and forth.
Yeah. Do you think like a Savannah Marshall could fight like a Katie Taylor, or the size difference is just too much?
Yeah, I think this. I mean, it's hard to say. You know, Serrano moved a few divisions, so
yeah, Serrano's little too. She's been champion like 7. She has like the Olympic. She has the Olympic record for the most championships in multiple divisions. I think she beat Pacquiao for that. I might be wrong on that, but I know she's the current holder for the most championships in multiple divisions.
Right, and
Savannah Marshall is 5'10". She's big.
Too big.
She's big.
Too big. But Serrano, man, I if she does get back in the ring, it doesn't sound like she doesn't plan on it. But like I said, it's, you know, can she heal? Does that cut affect her moving forward in her career? I mean, 50 fights. There's only so many more fights that she has in the gas tank. So hopefully we can get a Katie Taylor rematch. With mine seeing a Baumgartner Katie Taylor. But we'll see. We'll see, man. Women's boxing on the up and up.
On the up and up, and I'm front line and center, ready to watch any and every fight, man. I find them very entertaining, very skilled, and great group of fighters on the come up too. So I'm ready to watch any and every fight.
Absolutely.
What other fight did we see? But let's talk about Netflix taking on live sports. Before we go into this fight, because that's the elephant in the room here. How do you think rate Netflix as it's a streaming platform, but as a live streaming platform? Was it ready for this magnitude? They said 60 million viewers tuned in to view this. So what do you think? How do you think they did?
Terrible. I wish I had 2 more hands. I'll give them 4 thumbs down. You know, going from Roy Jones Jr. was terrible. Cedric the Entertainer was terrible. It was nice to see Rosie Perez, but you know, she was a little bit out of her element.
Katie was all right. Katie, I do is her name. Katie, I'll do.
Well, she ran the table. Yeah, she ran the table. But we're used to seeing her on the Zone, right? Was it the Zone broadcast?
Yeah, the Zone. Isn't she married to Malik Scott now?
What?
That's Malik Scott's wife. Yeah.
Wow.
Weird.
I know that.
It's a weird, weird. Like, hey, I was blind. Malik Scott.
Wow, Malik I did not Scott, know that.
From Philly. Yeah, that's Malik Scott's wife.
You know, I believe I was interrupted on the Jake Paul, Tyson, and then the Barrios and Ramos fight. Was also disrupted, but it was just a mess, man. You know, from the love Andre Ward on there. He's always going to be able to talk shop when it comes to boxing. I thought Roy Jones was awful. Like he was not good. I personally someone that has enjoyed Roy Jones in the past, but to me it doesn't seem like he's been watching a lot of tight. I mean he was doing his thing when Tyson was doing his thing and kept talking about the biting of the glove, and he mentioned his legs not looking good, but he didn't explain why. It was man, the streaming buffering at the most inopportune times.
And even this next fight we're about to talk about the Ramos versus
That's what I'm saying.
I couldn't watch it.
That fight was interrupted.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening here? Are we out of bandwidth? Like, it was so annoying, bro. Like,
too many people was on.
I'm like, why am I even doing this? Like, it's one of those that I was not impressed, man.
Yeah, I don't know. We're supposed to be getting NFL games. NFL is not playing that. They need their viewership.
Well, yeah.
So,
and the thing is, how many times would an NFL game have 60 million people watching at once if it's not the Super Bowl or
right?
I could be wrong. Maybe there's some teams that have a fan base. I think the Cowboys have a big worldwide fan base. Maybe they can let like 60 million people in one streaming platform away from cable to disrupt that type of thing. But
it's one of those things that, I think Cowboys can pull about 30, so you about half of that viewership that we had for the fight.
Yeah.
But it was just not a good look, man. It was
not good
at all, man.
The Cowboys owner is not playing that. He's a businessman. He ain't playing that game.
It's Monday night, and it's a lot of empty empty seats in there. You went Friday night, you had it packed out, and you go Monday evening, Cowboys Texans. Right before we hopped on the show, a lot of empty seats tonight. So, just a little tidbit there.
Yeah,
I'm a retired Cowboy fan, so I'm always.
I hear you. You guys are going through a rough patch.
Hey, it ain't you guys, not no more. I ain't rocking with that. So,
yeah.
But if you want to talk about Barrios and Ramos, I mean, fight went to a draw. Based on what I saw, it was, the welterweight division needs some help, man. It needs some names. Shout out to those guys. Ramos, man, came back the last half of the fight and put on. You know what I'm saying? Really, really put on. But it was one of those things where you're like, okay, it was a draw. I can get with that. It didn't offer the entertainment. You didn't, you're looking for the skill, you're looking for the back and forth. But the one thing I can say, Abel Ramos was able to fight his way back into the fight, which I thought he was losing to fight to a draw.
Yes.
So
yeah. I mean, I looked at the both fighters, man. I'm looking at Ramos, kind of like 6'1", 6 foot. And Barrios was 6'1", 6 foot. And then Ramos was like a 5'9", 5'8".
Yeah. It was a definite size advantage.
And even the bigger fighter wasn't taking too much advantage of his size. To be honest, I wasn't too entertained by this fight because not the fighter's fault. but because of the streaming, and I would be honest, I didn't even go back to try to watch it again. I'm like, okay, cool. It's a draw. Let me. I want to watch. I want to watch the girls fight right now. So that was one of my big turnoffs for the day, man. Like
We had two knockdowns though in that fight.
Two knockdowns, yes.
Ramos down in round 2, Barrios in round 6, but we did have a judge that scored it 116-110 for Barrios. That was crazy. That's insane. That is insane. So, a fight goes to draw, one of the cards being 116. That's really wild. So
yeah. But these judges have been doing a madness lately. I'm like,
man, it's nothing new. You know boxing, man. If you ain't not getting these guys out of there, you're gonna have some crazy scorecards.
Like, if you're gonna cheat, or if you're on another person's side, or you're on a payroll somewhere, at least make it be discreet, man. Like, don't just rob us and pee on us and say Serene. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that was a little obvious, wasn't it?
I'm like, bruh, like, yeah, judges have been they've been on a madness lately, so.
Yeah, man. That was supposedly what was going on in the next fight we got on the bill.
Mm-hmm. Are we still talking about the Friday bill?
Or you're talking about Saturday, Zepeda versus...
yeah, that's a Riyadh season.
Riyadh season.
Yes.
Slide on that.
So, I mean, let's talk about Zepeda. He has this aura, look at his record. It speaks for itself. 32 wins, no blemish, no losses. You look at his knockout percentage. He's a beast. Out of those 32 wins, he has 27 knockouts. Mexican style fighter. All gas, no brakes. Scary. I mean, he's scary in that division. For some reason, I've watched him fight 2 other fights before, but this one in particular, that aura was not there.
No, it was not. It was not. He went down in round 4, but he mashed on the gas. Tevin Farmer faded in the later rounds. It was the last knockdown.
You were saying, sorry.
Oh no, it was one of those fights where Zepeda just outworked Tevin Farmer. I really root for Tevin Farmer. I always have been a fan of his, but I really felt he was outworked. And he went to Twitter to talk about the lack of drug testing, and all the work he puts into that. There was no drug tests for this fight. So that's a thing, and but I was not Zepeda like skill wise, but I do think a fight with him and Shakur would be very entertaining because Shakur would be forced to fight this man at different levels. But it also felt like he'd be able to show his skill.
Yeah, he has to unleash. Like, we want to see you just called it. Yeah, Zepeda, a Pitbull Cruz would be the best fight to unlock.
Yeah,
the core, but
real quick, we talked about Snack on another episode and the whole Victor Conte connection. Zepeda is he's a snack fighter. So I just want to put that out there. No drug test, snack fighter. Victor Conte. That's all I'm saying. Tevin Farmer is the one that initiated that. I didn't just bring this out of nowhere. Yeah, he was in the locker room post-fight. He planting to see, and I'm like, okay.
He dropped a bomb and walked away.
Just make you think.
Like you guys translate it the way you want to translate it.
He's just saying.
He's a snack fighter.
So
that's crazy. But talk about Tevin Farmer. Is he a yesterday's fighter now? Like, he's a 3-time or 2-time champ? Let me correct me if I'm wrong. 2-time. Hell of a run. How many wins does he have? If I'm looking at his stats here,
33 wins, 7 losses, 8 knockouts.
Oh, only 8 knockouts. Okay.
So pure boxer. He's one of those. like my guy was it Malinaji.
Oh, nice.
Box the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Maybe not get as many knockouts.
Do you think this is the other side of the hill for him?
Absolutely, man. 34 years old. He seen the fade in the second half of the fight. Maybe, styles make fights. So if he has a guy that has a lower output, I think he does withstand the heat a lot better. But he's one of those guys I have a lot of respect for. Always going to root for him. Was rooting for him in this fight. Saw fans on Twitter talking about a potential robbery. Didn't see that. I just saw a guy that was outworked, showed some skill, showed some flashes of that guy that we know he is. But ultimately, Zepeda was just the workhorse from Snack, and was able to get the dub.
Yeah. So with these two fighters, whatever they showcase, Zepeda, we see big things on the horizon. One of the few undefeated people in his division with a name. Palmer, on the other side of the hill, he's I don't know.
What's the next step? I don't know. We don't know. I don't know if we know the next step.
I think
he gets back in the ring though.
Yeah, but I studied his body language when he had that post-fight interview, and I remember from seeing and hearing what he had to say post-fight, and remembering what Roy Jones when Roy Jones was at Andre Ward's podcast when they talked about a fighter retiring. I think Roy Jones said, when you are a fighter and you're mentally fatigued thinking about training camp, then it's over. Feeling like you just don't want to get out of bed, then it's over. Because for some weird reason, he insinuated that to be a fighter is to be comfortable with pain, going through that rigor of being in shape and being ready to fight.
He sounded like it sounded hard.
That's not fun anymore. Like, like the body language when he was talking about the fight is easy, the preparation is hard. So when you do that and the referees does this or the officials do that, you're really, it's really hard for him to take in the moment. So I'm like, buddy, I think your time in the sport is kind of done with, because from what other fighters have said, that's when they knew it was over. Just getting ready for training camp and mentally being fatigued, you're done.
Right. This took a lot out of him. You saw that in the post-fight interview, and for those that are on Twitter or also known as X, you'll see a series of tweets, explaining some things or just making some statements about his opponent and all that. So, I mean, best wishes to him. I wouldn't mind seeing him get another payday, man. You see guys like him, you just have a lot of respect for, bro. He just goes about it the right way, in shape, pure boxer, Philly, man, let's get him paid one more time, man. And it just seemed like it took a lot out of him.
Yes, he deserves it, man. Every fighter who puts their body on the line, their life on the line, and stays away from their family for the period of getting ready for a fight, they deserve to get paid. They deserve to be compensated, and if this is the only way they eat, man, we gotta respect it. And let Kevin Farmer get paid.
Come on now.
I said Tevin. Sorry.
Tevin.
The main attraction for the Riyadh season was Gilberto Ramirez Zurdo versus Chris Billum Smith. Did you watch this?
I'm gonna be honest. The Riyadh season card put me to sleep, man.
Hey, I hear you.
Yeah, that card put me to sleep. They had the mariachi band playing. They were. You saw that? It was like was that the crowd wasn't into main event?
Like, I was looking at the crowd. The crowd was dead. I'm like, what's happening here? Is everybody
energy
in Texas for the Tyson fight that happened the day before? Like, it was, the energy wasn't there.
That was disappointing. I went to watch the card, and when they played they had the mariachi band, and that it was like a lullaby to me, man. It put me out. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, this was actually a title fight for the WBA cruiserweight title, and also to for a chance for the current holder to grab the WBO from the other person cruiserweight title. So, anyways, uh, Ramirez beat Boylan Smith to capture both belts. So he has both the WBA and the WBO cruiserweight belt. For some reason, cruiserweight is one of those divisions that people don't pay too much attention to.
Yeah, it's an interesting weight class, man. But Opataya, if I'm saying his name right, that's on the horizon. For the winner of this fight right here. So I mean, he to me has some star power.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he won by unanimous decision. And I think that will be for that. We are strapped for time, no pun intended. But our next venture here, and I think Kam Gee, you're controlling the banner. For some reason, my screen is frozen and I can't see anything, so I'm just going off my phone. Is my camera working still good?
Yeah, you're good, man. We live in action. So we had the UFC 309.
Yeah, so UFC 309, man, sometimes there's some people that have an aura, and dude, you could there are dudes that, or there are people, even women, that when they're in their element, and no one in the world is better than them. You could talk about, I had a chance to see Michael Jordan play. We had a chance to see Kobe play, LeBron to a certain extent, and I didn't get to see Ali fight, unfortunately, but I got to see Tyson kind of like in the 90s where he would post prison. It was in his element, when somebody just goes into the ring and that's a dub. There's this guy right here, man. How do we describe him? John Bone Jones.
Hey man, it's a tongue twister. He is a icon in the UFC, man. Been around since like 07, 08.
Yeah.
And then we talked about, in the green room about all the ways that he's had victories. Whether it's the spinning back kick from this fight, elbows, submissions. I mean, man, you just can't help but you have a high appreciation for what he's brought. Someone for me that isn't a avid UFC watcher, I made sure that I was able to witness a phenomenal finish. Strap, you want to tell us what was the injury Miocic had right there?
Stipe apparently he got hit in the kidney. Oh, he had a kidney laceration, a fractured rib, and a split laceration. That's crazy. And if you were watching that, I was watching it in a loud place. I still heard the sound of that kick. It's nasty. And Kam Gee, you're a trainer. Tell the audience what a body blow feels like, or what it does to your body, like after a body blow.
It takes your will away. You saw it immediately. He was done.
Yeah. Boxers will say a body blow is worse than getting punched in the face because your body goes in shock. Like you get hit, it's just so much pain radiating around your body that everything goes into like default mode.
And it's the timing of it. It was unexpected. He kind of fainted away, and when he spun around, he wasn't able to really comprehend or defend himself. And you saw him take full force, man. And it wasn't like kick and push. He kicked through this dude. I'm like, what the? That sounded man.
So painful.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. I was really excited that I was able to catch John Bones Jones one more time, because we don't know how many more opportunities we're going to have with this. He's looking for the bag as well. He may not get that bag he's looking for, and you may not see him again. But to finish this fight the way he did, man, spectacular finish, bro. You obliterated this man with one kick to the midsection.
Yeah. Do you think he's retiring because he's refusing to fight the guy who's like next, the actual contender? He's refusing to fight Tom Aspinall. Like he's like,
No,
what is dude done? Like dude is annoying.
yeah,
Like, like
too
Dana White,
risky, not enough money.
yeah, and because he wants to have a mega fight. He's like, bro, I'm 37. Like I don't have more of these training sessions. I don't have many. Like I really want to get to the bag and give me your biggest cash cow at the moment, who is Alex
Right.
Pereira. Give me Pereira right now. And then
Yep.
old boy was like, Dana White was like, "Are you kidding me, Jones? Did you see how you look like fighting Stipe? You're big as hell." Because Pereira
Yeah.
fights light heavy and middle.
Yeah.
Like, look at how you look like. Because yes, Jones actually was a middleweight. People don't remember. Jones was little.
Yeah. He came a
Then he
long
went up-
way,
he
man. He
went
been
to the
living
light
good.
heavy, and then he went to the heavy. So Jones, but again, when Jones was a middleweight, Jones is like 6'5". He comes from a very athletic family. I believe his two brothers played in the NFL. Chandler,
And
Chandler
Arthur.
and Arthur, like they are very athletic families. So it's evident why he's just this freak of nature, right? And
Right.
what Jones did to Stipe on the ground, I could not believe, because Stipe is a heavyweight. Remember,
Yep.
Jones was not a natural heavyweight, but he was mauling
Hey,
this
he got
thing like a
the
pig.
he had the
Like,
frame
he's
for it. I
strong.
wasn't surprised. I
He
wasn't
was
surprised.
strong. Like I'm like, Jones is strong. He could actually maybe fight Ngannou, because I was
Yep.
scared for Jones fighting Ngannou, but I had to put the math. Jones is like 6'5". He's a tall guy, so Ngannou's about that same height.
Yeah,
Maybe,
he's
maybe.
outweighing him by like maybe 30, 40 pounds though. So
Yeah. I'm like,
uh
maybe Jones could fight Ngannou, but Jones doesn't want anything to do with Tom Aspinall.
yeah, man. And then we have Ngannou in the PFL now, so that's something we may not ever get a chance to witness.
But if Dana White wants it, they could do a crossover, champion of champions, like champion of PFL versus champion of UFC. We've done it before with Mayweather and McGregor. It was a crossover between Mayweather Promotions and UFC. Remember, because Dana was promoting that. You could do a crossover fight. Why not? But
Right.
Dana White, I think he has some bad taste after Ngannou left him and went
Yeah.
inside over there for all those millions.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
seen
know.
a hold a grudge, so we may not get
Yeah.
that.
But who do you see a Jones fighting now? Like I can
He,
understand why
he, he named
wants
he named his guy. I think he
Pereira.
he
He wants
knows.
Pereira.
He named his guy, and that's what it is. If he doesn't get it, I think he has to really be enticed by the payday at this point. And you notice this keeps coming up in the fight game. These guys with the names, they want the compensation for their hard work into the sport. You're seeing, athletes, the UFC guys see boxers taking home big check. That's why Ngannou crossed over to boxing. These athletes seeing the NBA players, they seen the soccer athletes, or the football athletes. They want some of that. And the UFC has been one of the organizations that does not have the paydays that can achieve those numbers. So they're starting to talk about it, and they're letting it be known.
And the UFC is such a monopoly that it's controlled with a strong like Dana White. Boy, he got that whole institution.
It's sold up.
He has it, like he's controlling every single aspect of it, whether it's storyline, whether it's who fights who, which is good for the fans. Because fans always get the fight that they want. But it's never fighter first or fighter driven or fighter run type of institute where all of them are like Dana White's little they listen to me, their boss. It's even weird looking at the aesthetics of it where like UFC has got a little bit political, where you see the president elect in the audience, and then weirdly enough, before elections 2 weeks ago, every UFC fighter is putting something up about the president elect right now. I'm like, what's happening here? What's Dana White doing? What move is this? I understand it's a business move, but geez, like you're just forcing it in front of the audience's face. And I'm not saying it's a bad or good thing, but sometimes we we love sports because it does not have that political aspect or stuff like that. That should be your own personal stuff. But I understand
Letting it be known.
the audience that is being catered to. I understand. We understand, but it's so overt sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, man, I just want to watch fight. I want to watch fighting. I don't want to see no fight shows and John Bones hits a kick and he does the dance. I'm like, bruh, that was crazy. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, I respect everyone in their decision on who they think do whatever they need to do on the political side. But for me, man, I like my sports different. I don't know, man. LT, man, I mean, Kam Gee, maybe I'm wrong for thinking like this. But
shut up and punch each other.
That's what I felt like. Yo, we don't care about your voices. Shut up and punch. Shut up.
Kick somebody.
Yeah,
hit somebody in the head. Come on now.
If I want to hear my political stuff, I'll go to whatever news channel. I came here to see people.
This is not NPR.
Yeah, that's crazy. Me saying that. Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I'll pull that back, man. Yeah, y'all human beings. Express yourselves the way you want. Who am I to say that? Come on, I'll pull that back. I retract that sentence. I retract whatever I said. Like, you kind of put everything in perspective. Shut up and punch each other. That's crazy. Nah, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it. Anyways, another fight headliner that day was Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Oliveira, former champion, great fighter. Michael Chandler, former Bellator champion, great fighter. I watched this fight, but it did not translate to me like the way I thought about it in my head. I thought Chandler, of course, him being the brute that he is, he likes to fight. He likes blood dripping out. He's a gladiator.
Yeah.
And he loves to exchange. Oliveira, a wizard on the ground game. He's so good at jiu-jitsu. It's ridiculous. But nah. When was standing up and exchanging, Oliveira looked good. He actually cracked Chandler. And anyway, the fight itself was not it didn't turn out like how I thought it was going to be. It was very underwhelming for me. I saw Chandler overwhelmed, outperformed, beat thoroughly. And he's the only thing that he did memorable was the last 10 seconds when he lifted him up and then slammed himself on the ground. Lifted him up again, slammed, and that was it. There's nothing else to write home about. He got beat fair and square. I don't see too many big fights for Chandler. I know Chandler is exciting. Even if he loses, he's gonna get fights because he's an exciting fighter. But I don't even see that in the future for him from what he showed with Charles Oliveira, who I think deserves to be put as the number one contender to fighting for the championship belt. But either or. The main draw was the Stipe versus John Bones, and we got what we wanted. Viewership, it's been a pretty long show today. We kind of pushed it. Well, how many minutes are we looking at? Because I can't.
We're at 62 minutes right now, brother.
62. So we
not too bad.
Not too bad. Well, I guess Kam Gee, you have to do the closing duties because I can't even see anything.
Oh man, hey, it's another amazing episode of Who's Fighting. Hey, we're gonna catch you next week. LT gonna be back in the mix.
LT come back, man.
Hey, we got Strap holding it down. Hey, we back, man. You know what it is. Who's Fighting?
Who's Fighting?
Boom. Gotta end it.